Baby, I've been hearing stories about where you're from and what you wanna show me. Let's make it happen, and I'm talking now.
Music licensing
'Cause I can't
reimagined.
waste another day not know what you're about. I wanna meet your mother, wanna know your pa, wanna watch that sunset under southern skies near the water's edge where the crickets call. Somebody might fall in love. We can pop a top, stay up all night, see where this goes, count the stars above. We still got a lot to discover.
Artlist.io.
But first, I wanna meet your mother. I wanna take that back road where you wrecked your first car, that bright red T-top.
Music licensing
You didn't get too
reimagined.
far. We'll hit that dance hall that I've heard so much about. I'll be the new girl, the talk of this small town. When I meet your mother, when I know your pa, when we watch that sunset under southern skies near the water's edge where the crickets call. Somebody might fall in love.
Artlist.io.
We can pop a top, stay up all night, see where this goes, count the stars above. We still got a lot to discover. But first, I wanna meet your mother. Yeah.
Music licensing reimagined.
I don't know where we're going and I don't know how this ends. I just know I'm ready for our story to begin. When I meet your mother, when I know your pa, when we watch that sunset under southern skies near the water's edge where the crickets call. Somebody might fall in love.
Artlist.io.
We can pop a top, stay up all night, see where this goes, count the stars above. We still got a lot to discover. We still got a lot to discover. But first, I wanna meet your mother.
Music licensing reimagined.
I wanna meet your mother, yeah. Hey!
Good evening. This is Hannah Klein. Welcome to my podcast, Hannah Klein's Time. Today's guest is Ambassador Gilad Cohen. It's an honor and privilege to invite him on my podcast today. I had an opportunity to ask him various questions, but first of all, the priority to me, to probably a lot of Israeli people, is sorry, about the hostages, and I would like to take a moment and celebrate the fact that all the live hostages came back, and some of the hostages, including Noor Argamani, came to Japan and spoke in Tokyo, met with the politicians. I was not in Tokyo. I did not have an opportunity to meet with any of them. However, my thoughts have been with them all the time. I talked about this on my podcast, but, I have written about a lawyer who has been advocating for the hostages. All the hostages. He does have the names of all the hostages, Israeli hostages. The hostages, kidnapped to Gaza. And this is not about somebody else's problem, because Japan has 17, I will say had, but, people will be surprised how many people may, I'm sorry, have been kidnapped to North Korea. You need to know the fact, okay? This is very important. And you need to know the fact about Israel. How many terror attacks Israel has faced throughout history because of the hatred. Okay. This is something very important. We need people to abandon those hatred. And Japan, now has a very strong leader. She is pro-Japan, of course. She thinks of Japan number one for her. And also, she thinks of the allies. She knows who the allies are. And, Israel has been successful in defending itself for decades. And, it does have a lot of merits for Japan. And also, not just merits. Japan has had a very close relationship with the Jewish people. People who came to my podcast, told me and shared various stories. And see, we should not be saying something like, we should not be holding weapons, okay? If you are going to be killed, what would you do? You want to avoid it, right? That's what Israel is doing. Please understand what the situation is. And I'm very, very, this has been a very important podcast for me. And I want Japanese people to listen to Ambassador Cohen. He spoke about a lot of, topics. And, if you listen through media, there is always some kind of description that is very anti-Semitic in a sense. And I don't know where it came from. This is not about, not the Japanese product, this anti-Semitic values. So if you, don't support terrorism, you need to show support to Israel. Now, really. Now is the time to show the ally, and show the ally a true support. And at the same time, you need to welcome people from Israel. Guy Gilbert Dalal, you need to see his smile after he was released. Okay? he needs to smile like that in Japan too, and get surprised, really. Learn Japanese culture even more. He has loved Japan. There are a lot of Israeli people who love Japan and come to Japan and study. And you need to know about them more. And I hope that there are more interactions. Okay? We should not fear the I have to say, evilness. We need to love people, really, and fight against all these evil values. You need to actually see Israel, how peaceful Israel is. You need to probably visit Israel, and you need to talk with Israeli people. You cannot you cannot watch news and say, oh, Israelis are like that. You need to understand people. That is very, very important. And that is one step towards, building friendship. And I hope that there are stronger friendship between Japan and Israel. Japan has a lot to learn in the field of defense, cybersecurity, IT, AI, and we have a common ally, the United States. So we are going to be able to share a lot. So please do not forget that part. Okay, the United States to Japan is the most important ally. The US-Japan alliance. Okay, this is something that is inevitable, essential, essence for Japan. Okay, Japan cannot do without the US-Japan alliance. So we need to be friends with Israel in that sense. See, Israel has shared technologies, defense system, various medicine, not just, in the field of defense, but Israel has the top knowledge, like the very, very first level knowledge in many fields in academic, society. And we have a lot of opportunities to share knowledge and also develop economic business alliance, not just in the public sector, but in private sector. So please listen to my podcast with Ambassador Gilad Cohen. Good morning, Ambassador.
Good morning, Hannah-san. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. It's a little crowded here, but it's kind of quiet, in the morning. So, I would like to probably start with, how's your life in Japan? Really?
Life is very good. I love Japan very much. I've been here for the past 4 years in Tokyo as ambassador of Israel. I think that many of my goals before coming here to Japan were fulfilled. Some of them were stalled because of the war after October 7th, but I hope that we can reignite them as we do have kind of some kind of a ceasefire, which I hope will last, and Hamas will abide by its commitments to release all of the seized hostages and also put down its weapon. But I hope that also we have here a new government, and I hope that there is a new dawn of the relations, and I hope that their relations will be lifted. I am very happy here in Japan personally also because it's a very nice and comfortable place to be, friendly place by the Japanese people. I like running here. I even ran the Tokyo Marathon, so it was great. I like hiking, skiing, diving, whatever activity you want. I think Japan is one of the most beautiful countries in the world. And I'm very, very happy and pleased to be here and to serve you.
Wow, that's that's great. That's wonderful. You mentioned the war, October 7th. It made me, very emotional. That was the time I realized that, I really need to show people that I love Israel. I care about, people in Israel. It's not just, I would say like the Jewish people, Jewish friends that I have, but of course I do love Israel. I care about Israel all the time, really.
Everyone that loves Israel, we love him back. And I do think that this is a great thing that you and others love Israel, because this is loving honesty, truth, the good guys, the democracy, the people who fight against the tyranny of terrorism, the people that were slaughtered on October 7, raped on October 7, our children were burned alive, and our people were hijacked and kidnapped to Gaza. So I don't take any kind of criticism, and I don't think it's right to criticize Israel. And we do need the people in the world, and especially in Japan, to support us.
Yes. From my childhood, for no reason. Well, I have been, interacting with, a lot with a famous, prominent Jewish professor from Pennsylvania University. But not only that, I really believed from my childhood that Israel is a very, very democratic nation, like, a very idealistic nation for me. For a very long time, there have been a lot, because I have lived for decades right now, but it has been very important for me that, it's a nation that truly developed, I really believe that way. So, and at the same time, you mentioned October 7th, I could not express how terrible I had felt, when I heard it. And when I spoke with one of the guests, finally after like maybe 6 months, I finally thought that, I was so sad. But it took so long for me to even cry, about the situation. And actually, I have a friend, who is a Christian Zionist, active in Israel. And, he is involved in ICEJ, like International Christian Embassy Jerusalem. And he has a very close friend, who has actively supporting the hostages. He has all the names of the hostages, every name. And he has, taken the hostages' families to various, politicians, and, he, from day one, he mentioned it was necessary. And, at the same time, I think for Japanese people, it's very important, how terrible the condition is, that the hostages, those kidnapped people went through, really. And, Japan, in case of Japan, I have been, reading this for a long time, but, it's officially announced that 17 people were kidnapped. However, the National Police Agency of Japan, believes that they cannot eliminate the doubt that among 871 people, they were kidnapped. There are kidnapped people among them, who were kidnapped to North Korea. So, there are still families who don't have answers, and who feel, uncertainty, including the 17 people. And especially, we watch the news, about Mrs. Sakie Yokota, Ms. Megumi Yokota's mother. I have also read in a Christian newspaper because once I used to go to church very frequently, and I think that it's not just about those who read about Ms. Sakie Yokota not in the Christian newspaper, but people need to understand the lives of the families of the abductees. And there are still the deceased, the families of the deceased hostages who are waiting for the return. So I think that Japanese people, I think this is going to be for the Japanese people, and I'm going to add Japanese of your words. And I believe that people really need to understand the hardships, that Israel has gone through. It's very important, for us to solidly support. And I have very much high expectations to the new prime minister, female prime minister, first female prime minister of Japan, to support Israel solidly, really. And so I really feel that way. There is no way, there are both, there is, but I really do not believe in this, but it's very important, really. I really believe that way. And when I saw, I have actually questioned about one issue about UNRWA, UNRWA. Like there is a Japanese way of calling for it, but in the United Nations, I believe they are very much liable for October 7th. And may I have your words on that?
Well, regarding the war on October 7th, of course, we started the war here. I can tell you that my sons went to war in Gaza. They were fighting in Gaza for a long time. And all of my 3 children are there and fighting and trying to have the hostages back. It was a hard and painful war for us for the past 2 years, but it was a just war. It was a war that all of us had to do, and we hope that we are going now to change the Middle East, not only in Gaza, but in Lebanon, in Syria, Iraq, the Houthis, everyone. Israel will not tolerate any terrorism against us. And this kind of build-up for this October 7 atrocities, that they want to do the same. So if somebody thinks that he can build his army again, or his terrorist army, It doesn't matter if in Lebanon or in Houthis or Gaza or Iraq or area or Syria. We are not going to stand still anymore. We thought that we can contain it. We thought that we can do it, just avoid escalation. But we saw what happened on October 7. Regarding the hostages, this is the number one priority for us. We will not rest until we have all of the 251 hostages that were kidnapped on October 7 back. I think just a few hours ago, there was another deceased hostage named Itai Chen. It was a soldier that came back yesterday. And we have still few, but we are not going to rest until we have all of them back. I was here as ambassador, and the team of the embassy hosted back in December 23 the families of Noah Gamani, Alon Ohel, and Eden Zcharia. Unfortunately, during the time that the family of Eden Zcharia was here, we had to announce that that IDF was bringing back her body from Gaza. But it was a kind of a closure with Noah Gamani, because Noah came here to Tokyo with her father after she was released. It was a very emotional and very amazing trip here. They came in Hanukkah before, and then they came more than a year later. It was really emotional and important, and they met the Japanese leadership, and she met the press here, she met the Japanese politicians and others. It was Japan was really hugging her and the other hostages. I hope, and also we had the family of Gagi Boadalal, who was released a few weeks ago. So his father and brother came before he was released, and we were able to meet the Japanese politicians, the Japanese leadership, but also the press and other Red Cross and others. But now I hope that I can bring Gagi Boadalal, who is very much keen on Japan. He has a lot of respect to Japanese. He learned the language, and even there is an anime on him, to bring him back here, to bring him to Tokyo as a free man. He and his family, and I hope maybe Alon Roy can come here with his family. But again, we have to let them adjust to be out of the tunnels, out of the dungeons of Gaza, and out of jail, and to recover. So I hope they'll be back. This is the number one priority. You mentioned the Japanese hostages in abductees in North Korea. I hope that all of them will be back as soon as possible. I saw that Prime Minister Takaichi offered a summit with the leader of North Korea. I hope that every mean you can do to have them back. They should be back. They should be back here to their families. They are Japanese. They should be back to Japan, and we support it wholeheartedly. Now, regarding the question regarding UNRWA. UNRWA is an organization of the UN that is cooperating with Hamas. There is not other way to portray it, to think it. I had press conferences here in Tokyo. I showed it. We have real evidence of UNRWA workers who are actually terrorists. They were terrorists. They were kidnapped in vehicles of them, hostages to Gaza, killed and kidnapped. Their schools, hospitals, and are hubs for terrorism, of headquarters of Hamas. We found their weapons. We found the Hamas headquarters. In their schools, you can see the incitement. You can see how they are infiltrated by Hamas. We do not have, I was at the UN 20 years ago. We worked, and we used to work with UNRWA, and we gave them a lot of our cooperation, and we thought that maybe they can do things, but no, they didn't. They failed. They betrayed us. UNRWA betrayed us, and the problem is that even after we presented the world the evidence of how they are infiltrated by terrorists, how UNRWA workers are terrorists themselves, and how they cooperate with terrorists, they just refused to take the necessary actions to dismiss or to fire all the terrorists from their organization. to make a thorough investigation of what's happening and to make sure that UNRWA is not hub of terrorism. So not only they did it before, they refused to correct it, and they tried to that. So we are not going to cooperate with UNRWA anymore. UNRWA, I believe, is not going to be part of the rebuilding of Gaza for its own people, because Gaza should be free of Hamas, free of tyranny, of terrorism. You saw what happened the minute we left there. They started to execute their own people, Hamas. They were just executing them. What is this? You know, it's kind of it's crazy. And we have zero confidence in UNRWA today, and we are not going to cooperate with them. It doesn't say, I don't say that we don't have to find other channels to bring humanitarian aid to the Palestinian people, not to Hamas, to the Palestinian people in Gaza. We vaccinated their children against polio. We send hundreds of trucks every day to them. You know, even though we are being blamed that there was that we committed genocide. No, there's no genocide. We are trying to protect? We are spreading millions of leaflets to people go out of harm's way when we attacked the terrorists. We sent SMS text. We brought them food. We told them go out of places we are going to bomb because we do not want you to go. And it's the opposite. The only genocide that happened was October 7th genocide. And the Hamas killed intentionally Jews, Israelis, foreigners that worked in Israel just because they were in Israel, just because they were Israelis. That's the only reason. This is the true genocide and atrocities that happened. No other. We fought to bring our people back, and we fought to make sure that Hamas is no longer can be a hub of terrorism against us. And the Trump 20 points plan is speaking about this. The first chapter says Hamas should return all hostages, living and dead, within 72 hours. It's written there. And you see how Hamas doesn't want to release them. They're doing it, you know, for a long time and not abiding by this agreement. The second stage and the third and the other stage are that Hamas should be dismantled, that Gaza should be demilitarized, de-radicalized. And then there will be a peace council and enforcement force there of peace and stability, and to make sure that Hamas is giving back its weapon and go out from Gaza and lay down its weapon. So I'm saying that, and in the future, if I go back to your questions regarding UNRWA, I don't see UNRWA part of this. I don't see UNRWA part of how we can reconstruct Gaza. Maybe other organizations, yes, we can work with other organizations. We can work, but with someone that's betrayed us, someone that betrayed not only us, betrayed the mandate of the United Nations. UNRWA was built by the mandate of Security Council of the United Nations. And they betrayed their mandate because their mandate forbidden them to work with terrorists, to use it as a hub of terrorists. So we will not work with someone that is betraying its own mandate and the values and the charter of the UN. I don't see anywhere in the charter of the UN that someone from the UN organizations to support terrorism. And not only they supported terrorism, part of them were terrorists. And by refusal of them to deal with it, to correct it, to say, hey, we have a problem and we have to fix it. And it's not only me saying it, it's the United States saying it. By the way, even Japan stopped financing UNRWA for a while. It was a long time. Japan and other countries stopped financing UNRWA because they understood there is a problem there.
Because even I saw, I saw the program, I saw what children were singing. It's about exterminating Israel, exterminating the Jewish people from this planet. I mean, I could not express how angry I got listening to that 10 years ago. I thought, I cannot tolerate that. never really that. I just felt that way. And, that was one of the reasons I have hated Iraq for a very long time. I was very pleased when President Trump criticized UNRWA's educational program because it's very, very sick, terrible, and I believe, your sons, are fighting, as IDF. It's, I have known Reserve Army Colonel. I have, invited him on a podcast. He's a very, very kind person. He's an entrepreneur himself, but, I think that it's very wrong to call that IDF is committing genocide intentionally. Who is intentional? I believe it's Hamas. Strongly believe it's Hamas. And, United Nations offered, their platform to spread that hate. It's a mere hate, raw hatred against, a group of people because of the religious faith. And it's something intolerable. And October 7th, that was just an end to me. There is, because, Israel has supported, Gaza to provide, irrigation system, for example, and the water pipe became the fire, the rockets. And they were, the Hamas was hiring them against Israel. I mean, Israel has, a strong defense system, which, Japan really needs right now. It's, Prime Minister Takaichi, stresses about risk management. I think that, Israel is a very, very idealistic model because Israel has been realistically, successful in defending the nation, really. I mean, it's, people may think that, people are, I don't know what, exactly people are talking about, but, it's a responsibility, when it comes to defending a nation, it's not just the right, but it comes with the responsibility to defend the people, inside the nation. And there is no reason why, Israel has to be blamed for defending people inside Israel, right? And so, and at the same time, after October 7th, there has been missile attacks from Iraq, Yemen, Syria, Lebanon, all these, and also there were ballistic missile attacks from Iran before 12-day war. I mean, it was not reported in the Japanese news. This 12 war, were reported as if, it had started out of nowhere. However, there is a clear reason for it, and, and so, I really, I just, I don't have faith in UNRWA anymore. And at the same time, I believe that the educational program has destroyed, people of Gaza. That has been going on for decades. This is, and, I'm very, very sorry for what is happening. But at the same time, Dr. Annette Wolf was stressing this, back in April when she came to my podcast, when, Gaza is demilitarized, people need to abandon the ideology to wish to kill and exterminate Israel, right? And so, I hope and believe that this I'm sorry, just it's when I think of like the hostages and the victims, I still feel very, very terrible for what is happening. And I just remember it and I become very emotional. But maybe you have 3 sons fighting, in Gaza right now. And
Not fighting anymore. I have 2 sons and 1 daughter. My 2 elder sons, my daughter now is in the army, but my 2 elder sons were fighting as reserve in Gaza for a long time. I can assure you it was not so easy to be here in Tokyo when you don't know what's happening in Gaza when they're fighting. But I want to say something. First of all, regarding the Japan-Israel relations, again, you said rightly, I think Japan and Israel can cooperate in many fields. And you mentioned defense, and defense is something that Israel can share with Japan. We've shown to the world how efficient we are together with the Americans and others, but to defend the architecture, to defend Israel against long-range missiles, cruise missiles, UAVs, and others. And we've shown it, and we are willing to cooperate with our friends and allies around the world, including in Japan, on these technologies. Because you are right, Japan has similar challenges like we do from its neighbors. Second thing, of course, you mentioned cyber and other capabilities that Israel has, and Israel is ready to cooperate with Japan on every field to make Japan stronger, to make Japan defense being more stronger and active and robust. I think that we also can and should have other areas that we can cooperate on. Economy, I hope that we can start free trade agreement talks with Japan soon. I hope that Japan and the world will lower down the travel advisory on Israel. It's not only Japan, they should lower the travel advisory. Now the world, actually the Western world is saying, don't go to Israel unless it's necessary. I don't think it's good. I think it's right. Israel, today is a safe place to be, and we can protect ourselves. And I think when you're blocking tourists, but not only tourists, but businessmen and other delegations from coming to Israel, and I think it hurts Israel, and I think it's exactly what Hamas wanted and Hezbollah wanted. So on the contrary, we should encourage people, and I speak about Japanese, to come to Israel, to invest in Israel, to travel in Israel, and to explore the Israeli capabilities on high tech. Israel is a startup nation, on culture, on defense, on education. And if I speak about education, I agree. The problem with the Palestinians, it's not only in Gaza, it's also in Judah and Samaria, that the education system is wrong. They are teaching in their books, curriculum, for hatred of Jews. What is the meaning of Palestine from the river to the sea? What is the meaning of the right of return, the key that Abu Mazen is wearing? It means no Israel. It means that the Jews should go back to Europe or go back to the sea or wherever. No Israel. There's only one Palestine from the river to the sea. That's the ideology of Hamas, but that's what they teach also in schools in Ramallah. That's the problem. Instead of teaching for coexistence, for accepting the others, for having, built their own nation, what they do is just preaching their kids and their children, the next generation, of hatred, of misery, of why the Jews should be hated, of sending their children, I can see 3, 4, 5 years old kids going to summer camps, and instead of learning about science, about culture, about like Boy Scouts, about good things, they give them guns. Plastic guns or rifles, and these green strips of Hamas or others with the gun. What is a child, 5, 6 years old, in a PA, Palestinian Authority camps? What can he understand? Only struggle, only fight, no peace. We are teaching our children in Israel for peace. We want peace. Is it too much to ask? The world, you spoke about the media. I think it's unfair how the media and around the world, and sometimes also in Japan, is covering the situation. What did we want? What was in October 7? We just wanted to live in peace, in coexistence. No threatening no one, no killing no one, just to live in peace, to work in our factories, in our fields, to educate our people, to live, that you will live in peace and we will live in peace. We left Gaza back in 2005 and 2006, and we told them, you can be like Singapore, build your own nation, build your own people without us. Let's see if you can do it. So instead of building their own nation, they were busy of building tunnels, getting weapons, getting missiles, and attacking us again and again and again. And the world, as you rightly said, has forgotten. Iran attacked us back in April and October of 2024. They attacked us. They were the number one supporter of Hezbollah and of Hamas. Their ideology is to destroy Israel. They have their problems, internal problems. So how do you, when you are a tyrant, a dictator, the mullahs are dictators, how can you control your people? This is the number one in the manual of being a dictator. Look for other enemies outside. And then if you find an enemy outside, you can rally or maybe unite your people. I don't think they are, the people of Iran deserve this kind of mullahs. They deserve better life. They deserve to be free and democratic. But instead, the mullahs took the power and threatening Israel and shooting at Israel and sending their long-range missiles and UAVs and supporting terrorism and trying to have nuclear weapon to destroy Israel. That's very, very clear. They wanted to have nuclear weapon to destroy us, and they developed the means to carry it, which is the long-range missiles. And this we have stopped together with the United States on the 12 days war. So, to portray Israel as someone is committing atrocities or doing bad things, no, we don't want to be in Gaza. We do not want to control Gaza. We don't want to build our settlements there or to reoccupy. No, this is not our intention. But we want Gaza to stop harboring terrorism and be a hub of the number one terrorism state in the world. No, it won't happen anymore. And I don't think that other countries would tolerate this. What would you see? What would you think? You live in Fukuoka. If you had a neighboring country, maybe across the sea, but not far, that will target you every time, every year will target you, your house, your schools, will say that you should be destroyed, that there is no room for you to live in Fukuoka or in Tokyo or in Osaka, that it's not, how would you, and use terrorism and use other elements, how would people here act? Say, okay, sorry, please stop. Okay, we said, don't do it. We worked, we tried diplomatically. We tried for many years to have solutions with the Palestinians. We had peace agreements with Egypt, we had peace agreement with Jordan, we had peace agreement with Morocco, peace agreement with UAE, peace agreement with Bahrain. We've shown we want to expand the Abraham Accords, and we do want Saudi Arabia and others, and even countries in Southeast Asia like Indonesia and others, to have normalization with us. Why not? Why not? Let's focus on innovation. Let's focus on working for our children, for better education, for science, for technology, for health, for good things, not for wars. We don't want these wars. And we've tried with the Palestinians. Oslo was the first real trial that we really tried it. And then in 2000, Barak tried it in Camp David with Arafat and Clinton. And then 2009, Ehud Olmert as prime minister tried to do it with Abu Mazen. There was a Palestinian state on the table. There was, kind of solutions for all the problems. With the back of the United States and the Arab world, the Palestinians have never missed an opportunity to miss an opportunity, always rejecting it. And why do they reject it? They reject it, unfortunately, because deep inside, they do not acknowledge with the Jewish state. That's our tragedy. That's their tragedy. Instead of being flourishing and in a good position. They are always whining and corruption of the Palestinian Authority and teaching for hatred and educating for not accepting the Israeli people and Israel as a sovereign Jewish state. That's the tragedy. This is our tragedy. And you are right. Only when there will be real, genuine understanding of them that Israel cannot be destroyed ever, that we should live together in peace, in coexistence. We are ready to do it. Then maybe there will be peace, and they should educate their children. Educate their children for peace, for coexistence, for accepting us. Yes, they say Palestinian state. I have my thinking about it after October 7, but it's not on the table right now. It's not on the table. Because we lost trust. What can we do after October 7? And we don't think that the future Palestinian state, which Palestinian state? Another Palestinian state like in Gaza? That will be concentrated on how you build your arms in order to kill Jews? No. So no. Nobody wants to commit suicide. But you cannot even think about it for the Palestinians if you do not start with deep-rooted sociological process of education for peace, of not Palestinian authorities paying money, salaries for families of suicide bombers. It's called pay for slay. The more you kill Israelis, the more you get money from the Palestinian authorities. They are naming squares in the Palestinian Authority, not in Gaza, in Judea and Samaria. They are having squares and schools under names of suicide bombers. What is the meaning? What is the meaning? They are the heroes. People that kill children and women, they are their heroes. How can we trust this? How can we work with this? They are saying reforms. They are saying reforms for 30 years now, and they didn't do anything on reforms, anything. And I'm very, very sorry to say, but many of the Israelis that were supportive of the solution of coexistence are so sad now, are so pessimistic now. Because, the people that they were kidnapped and raped and murdered, many of them in the kibbutzim near Gaza were peace lovers. Yeah. People who preached for peace, for coexistence. Even for a Palestinian state, they said it. They took people to work in their fields from Gaza to gain money. They took Palestinians from Gaza to hospitals in Israel. They took them from the crossing to Sheba Hospital, to Ichilabad, to be treated for cancer, for diseases, to offer our good hearts. The same people that we took, the same people we treated, were the same people who came to our kibbutzim, Moshavim, and to Sderot, and Tivot, and murdered us. Murdered these peace-loving people. So nobody can tell me now, let's have reconciliation. No. Let's see. Let's stop for a while, and let's see who's on the other side. No trust anymore. I'm sorry to say it. No trust. We've learned that. We took our lesson from October 7, and instead of condemning it, the Palestinian ambassador, or not ambassador, representative here in Tokyo, is just busy on attacking us, Israel, me, myself, don't invite Israelis, boycott Israel. That's what he does here, the representative. Instead of standing by me and condemning Hamas, condemning them for what they did to your people, and still doing it to your people. Because if they had a chance, Hamas would have killed immediately. Or the Palestinian Authority, including Abu Mazen. They wanted to kill him a few years ago. We saved Abu Mazen.
Um, see, that is very true. You know, I I would say that, especially, I don't think that the situation is resolved at all for, to think about building the Palestinian state right now in a way. I don't think that we should be, optimistic in a sense. And, Colonel John Spencer, he expressed it very well. I read, his Substack, and, I read his, posts on X very often. But, he was talking about pay-to-slay system and the Palestinian Authority. They glorify, the Palestinian Authority glorifies the terrorism, that the Palestinians commit in Israel, right? I mean, it's terrible, and I I just, I feel very, very heartbroken every time there is a terrorist attack. For example, Rabbi Dioli, he lost his wife and two daughters. I saw the funeral. It was very, very heartbreaking. I was not in Israel, but my friend on Facebook was sharing it, and it was just truly, truly heartbreaking. And I think that, instead of um, you know, tr- trying to understand the situation, you know, who who loves peace? It's Israel. When I think of Israel, it's one thing, I am impressed is how positive people are, to be, you know, to love something. It's something that I, get as a feeling all the time when I think of Israel. But, we cannot make up a story, you know, and victimize the terrorists and say that they are the victims, because that will not help anyone, really. I mean, that's going to just hurt the situation. And um see, I after October 7th, I really think that there's another one. There could be another one. How can we trust the situation? And what I saw on a TV interview with the Iranian official right after October 7th, they were saying like something like this. I still remember it very well because, we gave webinar, which is not true. They weaponized, Gaza. They, Iran, provided weapons, like realistically, and they help build the weapons, not just through weapons. They did a lot of things, terrible things. And see, Ayatollah regime, the Mullah regime, you know, I I see that this Ayatollah uh posting, you know, um crazy Zionist, evil Zionist. I'm sorry to say this, I don't mean this, but they refer to that, Israel. When it comes to Zionist regime, it's about Israel. And then I don't think that many people seem to be serious, but they are indeed serious about what they are going to do. And, regarding 12-Day War, I think that Israel was very, very successful in showing the world how effective preemptive attack is. It was I'm sorry that there were some victims, of course, as a result of the inhumane ballistic missile attacks, but from Iran against Israel. But Israel was successful in defending approximately 90%, and of course, many people, most Israelis were confident that Israel was going to win, and Israel indeed won. And, won the peace. You see, it's, this sense, I think, is actually important for Japan. Now, like right now. It's not about like 10 years later, but I think that this risk management that Prime Minister Takaichi is stressing, is very important. And that includes how to maintain peace. Looking at Israel, that's the very, very successful, example, I think, for Japan, especially 12-Day War, by the way, what did you think of the 12-Day War?
With the United States of America, I want to also thank President Trump and the Trump administration for standing by Israel, not only in Iran, but also in Gaza, in Lebanon, in every front. We have a very best friend ever in the White House, and we are grateful to President Trump. We've shown in the 12 Days War that we were not going to tolerate nuclear weapons and also long-range missiles to carry out, and we are not going to tolerate what Iran is doing in the region. And I think Iran is a threat not only to us but to the free world. Iran is a threat also to Japan, because what Iran is doing is providing its weapons to North Korea. The UAVs are killing Ukrainians. And one day it can be directed, missiles and UAVs against Japan from maybe others. But I think Japan should be very vigilant on Iran and what they do. This is a very destabilizing force. By the way, after a few days of the 12 Days War with Iran, Japan has joined together with the G7 saying that Iran must never have a nuclear weapon, that Iran is the number one destabilizer of the Middle East, and that Israel has a right to defend itself. So we did it as a preemptive strike in an act of self-defense, because we saw after Nasrallah was eliminated by us in Beirut, that Iran is, and Hezbollah was very severely hit, that Iran is running for the bomb. They just said, okay, let's go now to the nuclear bomb because we have a problem with Hezbollah, and this we have to stop. We have to stop it in the last minute, because they were ready within a few weeks to have a nuclear bomb, weeks or months. But anyway, we had to stop it, and we did it as an act of self-defense. By the way, which was approved by the world, by the free world, including in this G7 statement that I told you. I hope that the Iranian people will be free one day. Will have the Farsis are very brave people and contribute to mankind. Very smart people. We used to have normalization with them. We used to have an embassy in Tehran. They expelled us from there. The mullahs took over and started to say death to Israel, death to the United States. This is the US is the big Satan, and we are the small Satan. That's their ideology. And I hope that this ideology will be removed, and the sooner the better, because the Iranian people deserve better life, deserve to be free, deserve to develop, deserve that their money, their taxes will go inside for their prosperity, for their innovation, for their health, for their investments inside, and not to go for terrorism, to finance Hezbollah and to finance Hamas, and to launch missiles and to have nuclear program and to build missiles for what? Why? Why don't you take this one? They invested $500 billion in their program, nuclear program and missile program. Why? $500 billion. Why? You should have taken it and put it and invested in schools, in universities, in science and technology, in opening up, in having, you have now sanctions on you. What did you do? The sanctions of 2015 came back to you as a snapback. The world doesn't want to trade with you. The rate of real is, the Iranian real is so low now. The inflation is so high. They don't have food there. Why? What did you do to your own people? And that's exactly what Hamas is doing to its own people. And that's exactly what Hezbollah wants to do to Lebanon. This is what happened when these terrorist regimes in Tehran, Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, look what the Houthis they've done to their people in Yemen. Why? You don't have ports now. You cannot export. You don't have facilities for energy. What did you do to your own people? Why did you do this? Why did you attack us? We just wanted to live in peace with you. We had nothing to do with you. You are bombing ships of the United States, of the free world, of Japan. Kidnapped a ship of Japan. Why did you do this? When you have ideology of hatred, of extreme Islam, of terrorism as a tool, as a mean, you will only bring on yourself destruction. And Israel is ready to work with like-minded countries, not only in the world, not only Israel, but also in the region, with our neighbors, with Egypt, with Jordan. We are ready to have peace with Syria and Lebanon. We are ready to have peace with them and normalization. Why not? But they have to be without Hezbollah. They have to be without terrorists. They have to make sure, as we should make sure that we are going to protect their security or to maintain their security. They should promise us that they will not attack us, and we will see in our own intelligence and our eyes that Hezbollah is not rearming itself, which is what it's doing right now, rearming itself. And dragging us to a very dangerous situation, again, what Hezbollah is doing in Lebanon. So we can have it with the close circle of Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, and Egypt that we have already peace, but also in the other region, for Saudi Arabia, for Oman in the future, Kuwait and others. Why not? Why not? We had it and we've shown it to the world. Israel wants peace. Israel does not want war. I know personally what are the prices of war. There are prices for it. But if we want to survive, we will have to pay it. And we are going to continue to pay it if needed. The Middle East should change the policy from hatred, from terrorism, from dictatorships, from oppressing their own people and trying to target terrorists against us, to a new dawn of cooperation, of peace, like portrayed in the Trump proposal. This is what we should do. And I hope that the coming years will be a new horizons for the Middle East, because we are reaching our hand for our Arab neighbors for peace, including the Palestinians, by the way, including with the Palestinians. We want peace with them. We do not want to see Palestinian people affected. But if they attack us, we will respond. If you kidnap our citizens, we will bring them back. We tried to do it in negotiations. It failed. So we had to do it on the other side, on the other way. The other way was a painful one. And President Trump, the president, said it. Either we do it in the good way, or it will be in the bad way. You choose. But you won't have our hostages. It won't happen. And sometimes, when diplomacy fails, you have to act, to exercise military pressure. All right, we have, I think, 1 more minute because I have to go.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Oh, but I believe that, Israel and Japan have a lot in common. And one common value is that, the United States is the friend of us, right? So I think that we should be very close, Israel and Japan, I mean. And thank you very much for coming to my podcast. And I have to let you go. So
sorry that I have to leave. I had fun. And thank you very much for hosting me. And good luck to all. And I hope that really we can have very good relations between Japan and Israel. We are two allies, as you said, of the United States, strong allies of the United States. And I'm proud to be a friend of the US, of course, the USA. And I'm proud and I'm happy to be a friend and ally of Japan. You remember back in 2011, we came here to support the people in the Tohoku area. after the tsunami and the earthquake, the devastating earthquake, and our forces were deployed here. We will always be standing by the Japanese people, and they are friends of us, and I hope that we will continue with this.
Thank you very much. Yeah,
Thank you, Hannah.
for all your words, and I hope you have a nice day. Thank you.
Love on repeat. You just hit delete. Wishing they were me, but they can't compete.
Artlist.io.
Swipe left, swipe right, doing it to waste time. Come over tonight, I can make you mine. Keep me on the side, date me out of sight.
Music licensing reimagined.
Rewind, got me on your mind. Love on repeat. You just hit delete. Wishing they were me, but they can't compete. Locked in the screen, tell me what you need. I can be your secret, I'll keep it discreet.
Artlist.io.
Love on repeat. You just hit delete. Wishing they were me. They can't be me, but they can't compete. Yeah. Swipe left, swipe right, doing it to waste time.
Music licensing reimagined.
I can make you mine. Keep me on the side, date me out of sight. Can we hit rewind? Got me on your mind. Love on repeat. You just hit delete. Wishing they were me. They can't be me, but they can't compete.
Artlist.io.
Locked in the screen, tell me what you need. I can be your secret, I'll keep it discreet. Love on repeat. You just hit delete. Wishing they were
Music
me.
licensing
Can't be me,
reimagined.